Skylanders came out about 4 years ago, much to the dismay of many gamers as it was advertised as the next Spyro game. And though the hardcore market shunned the title, it really sold well. So well in fact that it caught the eyes of Disney, who made Infinity 2 years later. Many gamers and collectors are quick to label this as a cash grab, and while on the surface that's essentially what the intentions are, as a game, does it deserve a place in our collection? That's the question I'm asking today. Let's start with how it looks from the outside. Most people who have not played either game I find will lean more towards Infinity. This is because the characters are very familiar. We see many characters from the Disney and Marvel universes, and will soon see Star Wars joining the Infinity series. The fact that we can play as Star-Lord alongside Captain Jack Sparrow makes us want to see what kind of antics the two will come up with. Skylanders looks more like a mishmash of random characters than anything else. Spyro is really the only one who is recognizable, but fans of his PlayStation days will be really tempted to give Skylanders a shot to see if they can consider it a good successor to the Spyro series. Now, there is a fairly cheap way to get started with both games. This is assuming you're a collector and have multiple, if not all, of the modern consoles. As for Disney Infinity, I personally found the original on the Wii for about $20. You can probably find the original set for fairly cheap. Most retail stores aren't going to be carrying the original set anymore, so they'll be trying to get rid of them, especially on the older consoles like the Wii. Now, for all you Wii U owners out there, you can actually download Disney Infinity for free on the Nintendo Store. So if you happen to find a base and a toy for fairly cheap, you're set. You should be able to find a base either at your local used game store or a pawn shop, but you can also find it on eBay for about $5 to $10. Now, the real expensive part is the figures and playsets. Brand new, they retail at under $15, but most used figures will run about $7 to $10. As for Skylanders, there is no digital version of the game, but you should be able to find the original Spyro's Adventure for about $10. The base goes for about the same as Infinity, but when we look at the figures, the prices are much more affordable. Most of the used figures I have were about $3 to $5. This is about half of what Infinity figures cost. Now, there are Skylanders that are more pricey, but for the most part, the first series figures are very affordable. In the end, you're still looking at roughly $20 to $35 to start no matter which game you end up with. But how do the two stack up? They are games after all, so are they fun? Both can be considered action platforming games. Both have different areas where you need to jump around on different platforms and traverse the terrain. There are also sections of the game where you must brawl through waves of enemies to get to the next section. They are both formulaic in this way, but it works fairly well for the two. Infinity is a little bit more open world. There are side missions that are easy and can give you things to do in between the story missions. There is also a toy box mode, which is kind of like Minecraft, but with Disney Infinity items instead of blocks and materials. Many people have made their own stages and uploaded them for you to download and play. Infinity puts the story second and the world around you first, pushing you to complete everything you can. Each character has close combat and ranged attacks, as well as a special ability. Each character has a slightly different moveset, but for the most part, you'll not mind playing as any character. Skylanders is a little bit more linear. There aren't as many side missions as Infinity, but the game is more story-driven. You, the player, are a portal master who can call upon the Skylanders to essentially do your bidding. The story and gameplay are top-notch and feel very solid. Each character has 2 different attacks and 1 special move. These attacks can vary from close combat to ranged, and the amount of fun you will have will depend on the character you play as because, well, some characters just suck. And Spyro is one of them. The other thing that will be a deciding factor in which to buy is the figures. For Infinity, you can only use the characters that are actually made for each playset, so that means you can't actually use Jack Sparrow in the Guardians of the Galaxy playset. There are coins to unlock certain characters in each playset, but not all characters can be used. Also, in Infinity 2.0, you absolutely need a playset to be able to have a good time, otherwise you will only be able to play user-created content. For Skylanders, you can use any character at any given time. Each character has a different element shown by the base that they stand on. At some points of the stage, there will be areas where a certain element is stronger. You can also unlock elemental doors and paths this way. This encourages you to switch up on the fly. There are also mini-games where you need a specific Swap Force character with a special skill to complete. Also, giant Skylanders are used every now and then to unlock big chests. I find there is a little bit more variety in the moveset for Skylanders than Infinity characters. That being said, Infinity figures to me just look better. Maybe it's because it's a recognizable character, but I definitely like the look of Infinity characters, and I would even buy them just for display purposes. In the end, my thoughts on the two are so. Skylanders is definitely the more fun out of the two in the long run. Once you get a playset for Infinity, it can be fun to go through and explore the world, but Skylanders just has everything right there. You don't need to buy anything extra. You can finish the main story with just one Skylander. I also find it more fun to switch between characters in Skylanders than in Infinity. I have my favorites in Skylanders, but with Infinity they all play so similar that I just have my least favorites. Plus, there's the fact that you can use any character at any time in Skylanders. I really wanted to use Jack Skellington, but no playset works with him. Plus, his moveset isn't that great anyways. I will always suggest Skylanders over Infinity. Sure, Infinity has all the Disney and Marvel characters and it'll soon have Star Wars, but Skylanders just has the more solid and addictive gameplay. And personally, I say it does the Spyro name justice, even if his character is useless. With all that said, though, the two come very close. The final rating on both games is an 8 out of 10 on Skylanders and a 7 out of 10 for Infinity. Disney would do well to allow all characters to have a place in all playsets, or even to have an original story that intertwines every universe. Skylanders is the winner of this comparison.